Have you ever heard of G.I. Joe?
Give him the stick. Don't give him the stick.
Do you know my dad?
Oh, G.I. Joe.
Oh man, that poor guy with the stomach issues.
What about Voltron?
From uncharted regions of the universe comes a legend. Voltron.
Isn't that like the rotary phone of the Power Rangers?
You mean 5 heroes wearing 5 monocolored suits? They get into different mechs that combine into one giant robot, which can form a sword out of thin air that inevitably defeats the big bad?
Yeah, but not dinosaurs though.
I mean, they're all cats, so, like, one is a yellow cat, and the Power Rangers have a yellow saber-toothed tiger, which is one of the legs.
Yeah, but Voltron's yellow cat is the left leg, and the Power Rangers' yellow cat is the right leg, so it's way different.
What about She-Ra, the Princess of Power?
Wait, I thought this was about 80s cartoons. That only came out a few years ago.
How do you know that?
Haven't all these shows come out in the past decade?
If it ain't broke.
Great Things came out in the 80s.
Cartoon Action Hour, designed by Cynthia Celeste Miller and previously interviewed Eddie Webb, give you all the tools to create your very own 80s cartoon. This game goes in depth to not only give rules for the setting, but the actual rules of media and the reason these shows were made in the first place. Perhaps shocking to some of you, violence was deemed bad for children to view.
What?
I know.
Oh, I have the next line.
I know.
Don't all sorts of these shows have weapons, though?
There were tricks of the trade. Guns fired lasers and used the environment to cause damage.
Okay.
He-Man used a sword and never actually cut anybody with it. And Transformers are all robots, so no organic damage done.
Yeah, nobody cares about robots exploding.
The core book extensively reviews tropes like catchphrases.
Knowing is half the battle.
Villains always knowing how to escape.
I'll get you next time, Gadget! Next time.
Or annoying comic relief characters.
Snarf! Snarf! Snarf!
Indeed. Cartoons at the time, and to some degree now, were essentially 20-minute toy ads. For Cartoon Action Hour, you'll design a concept to push that merch. When playing, the game will always have an overarching season, which is broken down into episodes, and these will be made up of scenes.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
The power is yours!
Yeah, there really is a lot of freedom for what your show can be, as you'll soon find out with our insane lineup. Getting into gameplay, you'll need the usual pencils, paper, bio sheets, what we call the character sheets here, and D12s. Your characters, vehicles, and heroic bases will have traits and qualities.
Jinkies.
Jinkies!
Oh, I think we got Nate stuck in 80s mode.
What you talking about?
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you
talking about, Will?
Cartoon Action Hour, what are you talking about?
Let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous.
I'm getting there, Darkwing. Your traits are your most important stats. Rather than focus on what you're average or poor at, you'll only have noteworthy abilities to show off your skills. These traits are broken down into human tier, superhuman tier, and cosmic tier. If you need to stop a train, asking a G.I. Joe, Spider-Man, or Superman would lead to different results. Each hero could be listed as strong, but the scale matters. If everybody is a regular human, G.I. Joes are probably going to easily tackle and restrain villains. Your traits will be a bit more creative than strong, like, he works out, or 5th degree black belt.
Let me at him! Let me at him!
That brings me to my next point. Qualities can help or hinder, but they're essentially what you're known for doing. Weapons master, evil henchman, or maybe in Scrappy Doo's case, feisty puppy. He is brave in the face of danger, but also needs to prove himself recklessly in the face of danger.
All right, I got it. I'm smarter than your average bear, after all. So, how does rolling work?
There are 2 types of checks you'll be doing. Opposed checks and normal checks. If you and a villain are both diving for that detonator to see who catches it first, that's opposed. You both will roll, and the higher check wins. Each villain will also have a series of traits and qualities to influence rolls. If you simply want to scale a cliffside, that's a normal roll. The difficulty of the terrain is determined, and you try to beat that static number. Beyond that, there are plenty of ways to manipulate the rules further that we'll discuss in our episodes, such as linking, oomph, teamwork, or boons.
Fluffer and fuckatash! Now, how do we defeat these villains?
The Game Master will signify when roles become crucial roles, which is to say that they could dole out setback tokens. Rather than have hit points that you need to knock down, you will try to impose tokens. Each character will have something called star power. This is a reflection of where you stand within the show. 1 would be disposable goons, 2 would be for the supporting cast, which accounts for most of the characters, 3 would be the action stars, who are the focal points, like the Thundercats, and 4 is for the icons, who dictate the plot. This belongs typically to one character, like Cobra Commander, who decides what the entire villain group is doing. If any character receives more setback tokens than their star power, they are defeated, and can no longer act for the scene.
Okay.
Once we move on to the next one, all setback tokens are removed, and the player can act freely. This includes after being captured.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power to play this game.
Agreed.
Ha!
The finer details will come up as we play, so stick around. One more thing to know for our gameplay. We are using the network rules, as described in the guide, to measure if the shows would be permitted on the air. You're allowed up to 40 points, with 1 point being slamming a door, and 5 being the violent acts like threatening someone directly.
Ooh.
You can't save up these points for, say, disemboweling someone. Follow along and let us know if you agree with the network execs if it's safe to play in the 80s. Alright, cool. So, what are we doing now?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Welcome to Demons and Dragons.